Hello, good morning, sir. Hello, sir.
Good morning. I can hear you. So we're looking at group policy this morning. We just have limited time of 30 minutes because of the free Zoom license we are using. So, but within that short time, God will help us to actually look at something viable. As you know, my name is Emmanuel Okonkwo, an IT professional that always love to impart knowledge so that your administration will be very easier, and those that doesn't have this knowledge will add it up to their knowledge and make up their CVs to have a better chance or a better job. Now we're looking at group policy alone, not just installation of Windows servers this time around, but group policy. Group policy is a hierarchical infrastructure that allows a network administrator in charge of Microsoft Active Directory to implement specific configurations for users and computers. Group policy is primarily a security tool and can be used to apply security settings to users and computers. And not only that, computers configuration, these policies apply to local computer and do not change per user. User configuration, this policy apply to users on the local machine and will apply to any new users in the future on this local computer. You will understand this when we get to the practical section. When we get to the group policy template, you will see we have computer configuration and we have users configuration. So you will see the policy we apply on the computer configuration and the one we apply on the user configuration. It's telling us that if you apply it on the computer configuration, the policy will apply to the local computer and will not change per users. It is user computer that will apply on the local apply on local computer and will apply to any new users in the future. Computer configuration applies when a computer starts up after reboot. No wonder after you implement your group policy, you will do GP updates. Most sometimes it reboots and it takes effect. Users configuration applies when the user logs in. Today is not theory. We're going to talk about practicals. So we want to see, number one, how we can use group policy to deploy software. You can use it to deploy any software. You have 100 systems on your network. You want to install Microsoft Teams. You want to install printer driver. You want to install some things that are viable. You want to install that. You will now start going around each of the systems. It's not proper. So we are going to see how to use group policy to deploy software. We are going to use how to use group policy to change desktop theme, desktop background. So people who have official background, they want to change it. Instead of you going around the system to change it, you will see how to use group policy to do that. We also see how to use group policy to do a folder redirection. Like I want to do backup of folder A without the person knowing. I will just redirect his desktop or my document or download a desktop and redirect them to my central share or to my storage on my server, and I can pick up what I need to pick up. We also want to see logon banners. We want to see map drive. You want to create a central share, you create a folder, you share it and put it on the storage. Then you want that folder to be visible on every system. So you will see how we can use group policy to map drives. So the person that is asking question has come. I will attend to that towards the end of the class. So we also want to see how we can use group policy to block control panel. Because most people, when they go to control panel, they can fizzle with a lot of things on the system, scatter the network, and at the end of the day, they will say, you, the network administrator, you are not efficient, you are not doing your job. So we want to see how we can use group policy to lock up the control panel. Now, we are starting right away. So I have two systems here, my Windows server domain, and I have let me log in. And that's Windows Server 2022, and I have my client. If I equally have 100 clients, it's still the same way it will behave. So that's why. Now, the first thing we want to look at is how we can use group policy to deploy software deployment, number one. Now, I want every client to have Microsoft Teams. Now, if you come with me, I downloaded softwares. Take notes. The software you can install, they are not executable software, not exec. They are MSI. Just go online, download, just download a software. After downloading the software, make sure it is MSI extension. Just make sure the extension is MSI, not executable. MSI, take note. Now, look at it, what I mean here now. See Firefox, come to the properties. You'll see, look at it here, you see MSI.MSI, not exec. Look at Google Chrome. Come to it, you will see MSI. Look at the teams we're going to deploy. You come to it, you will now see it MSI. So we want to see how we can deploy any. If you can deploy Firefox, you can deploy Google Chrome, you should also be able to deploy Teams. Okay, so the first thing you do is to create a folder share, which everybody knows how to do. Create a folder share, which I have done already, then copy the part of your folder, which is this. Right click and copy. Then the next thing is you open group policy management. Group policy management. Open the container. Let me make it big. Now, in my group policy object, by default, two comes with it. Group policy, default domain controller policy and default domain controller. I am not going to touch that. And if you look at my domain now, my carovitech.com, I have default domain policy all linked to it already. So from this place, I'm going to create a new policy. Always give it the name you want, software deployment, so that you'll be able to troubleshoot it. Deployment, GPO. I've created. The second thing is to apply the policy. Look at it here. Apply the policy. That is just simple. Click edit. Now, where am I going to attach it? I can install it on computer. I can also put it on the user. But this time around, I want to use it on the computer. Then I come to policy, software settings. So on the software installation, right click on it, click properties, then paste that part we copied for this guy to be able to know where the software is. That's number one. Number two, right click again, go to new packages. So automatically the folder opens up. If you don't do the first one, it will not see the folder share where you have it. So I select my teams, I click on okay. Now, if you click on computer section, publish is disabled by default. But on user configuration, it is not. Publish means it will present the installation package to the client and ask the client to either choose to install or not. But assign, it will install it for you. And this is the advanced. So I want to assign it and click Okay. Then I want to wait for it to drop. It has to drop here. Good. It has dropped. Now, remember, I created my GPO. I implemented my policy. The last thing I'm going to do is to do what? Is to attach it, link it up to where I want it. So I want it to be on my domain, to have effect on my domain. I close this guy. I'm done with this guy. I will now come to my domain, Carofitech. I right click. I will now say link an existing GPU I've created. I can easily come here and say create a GPU afresh and use it directly. Create it and link it. I have created it. I have not linked it. So I will now come here and say link an existing GPU. I will now locate it. If you don't give it a meaningful name, you will not know. You will have issues locating it. Good. I am done with it. So the next thing we do now is let's go to my client. When you come to the client, you do a CMD. It doesn't come automatic. You will do a GP update / force. So if you have good, yes. So it will reboot. When it comes up again, let's see what happened. So if you don't do GP update, maybe you have thousands of systems. You don't need to go and do GP update. Leave them. By the time they shut down and they resume work the next day, it will take effect. Because if I don't do GP update, if I just reboot my system, it will still take effect. So either you do GP update to reboot it, or the person shuts down, the user shuts down and reboots. Next time, it will take effect. So this is the first lab we are doing, how to deploy software. The same way I've deployed software, you can deploy any software. A printer, you go and down, you get the printer you install. You can deploy Chrome. We want to have Google Chrome on all the systems. You can deploy Chrome, you can deploy Firefox, you can install any software you want to install with this same process. Let's a system come up. Once it comes up, we'll now see if it's actually installed or not. And you also see how you can troubleshoot your group policy and know what. Can you see? Team is installed already. So we passed our first lab. We can bring it up, Teams. Or can you see it? New. Team is installed. Good. That's straightforward. Now that's it coming up. We successfully deployed Team. Now we move to the second one. Because of our time, we want to change background. How can I change my desktop background. Okay. Now I go back to my server. Just understand the principle behind group policy. That is just what I want you to get. I go back to my server. I come back to my folder share for desktop background. Now, I want to make sure it as the extension comes up. So how do I do that? So come to view, come to file name extensions, check it. Good.jpg. So the first thing I'll do, copy the share part, copy. Then I'm coming back to this place because I need to copy here too. So I go back to my group policy object. I click on new. I told you, give it a real name, desktop GPO. Let me be pretty fast. Desktop GPO. I'm going to use, where's my desktop? Good. Time is not really there. Let me be a bit fast. User configuration, administrative templates, control panel. Sorry, we're not doing control panel yet. We're doing change desktop. That's desktop. Control panel is coming later, not now. Desktop. So desktop. You will see desktop wallpaper. You will enable it. This is where that part I copied. Then you will go back again to copy this guy. Rename. Copy the entire part. Then paste. Then how do you want it? Centered, fill your screen, or fit? Okay, let me use fit. Okay. I apply and okay. So I go to my client. I open up my CMD, still GP update /force. I don't think we can do all our labs we have here within that stipulated time, but let's see how far we can go. Good. Let's log out. Let me see if I just sign out without rebooting. Let's see what happened. Bob is signing in now to his system. Have I actually linked it? I have not linked it to. You can see I have created it, but I have not linked it. That's just the issue I see here. This guy needs to leave. You can see those are some little errors you can have. I will now have to link it. Link GPO and choose desktop. Good. So that's what I didn't do. CMD GP update / force. Good. Let's see. If I log out and log in, will I have it? Or I need to reboot? Let's see. Can we all see now? So this same way, it will change for everybody. Everybody. Let me quickly do maybe the last one for today because of my time. Let me do the mapped drive. I know that one will trip us. I would have done the GPO stuff, the banner stuff, and a lot of things that we have there. But let me do the map drive and let's see how we go from there. We have logon banners. We have desktop background we have done. We have folder redirection. I will not be able to do now. I know I've done it before. We have control panel, blocking. We have software deployment, which I have showed you. So let's do the map drive and see how it goes. So definitely we always create 3 people in the waiting room. Admit all. Okay. You create, I know you love this, new map drive. Mapped drive. Map drive. Okay. So I go to my map drive. I click edit. So I will do that on user configuration, on preference, on Windows settings. You can see my drive map. Right click, new, mapped drive. Then, before then, I would have should have copied background, folder redirection. Let me do a new folder for it. Oh, shared central. Let me be fast to share this. I should have done this. Is how to share your folder. That's folder permission. I come to my security. I'm adding everyone, but it's not ideal. It's ideal to add authenticated users. Not everyone just coming up, but for this purpose of this lab, I'm adding up everyone to it. Now, right click on it, then share. Copy, that is the part I need. So I go back to my right click, new, map drive. Okay. Location, I copy my shared stuff, reconnect, then come to this place, choose maybe F, folder drive. That's all I need. So I will not go and apply it. I didn't apply the other one. That's why. I come here, I apply it, link GPU, mapped card. Don't worry. Mapped drive. Okay, let's quickly see before we round up for today. Maybe we'll continue next time, CMD, or maybe next time we use another platform that will enable us GP updates / force. Maybe next class, we are going to use another platform, the guy that used to help us with Teams. We'll use that to have enough time for our class. So let me just log out and log in again. So let's locate our map drive. When the client comes to their system, can you now see? So when user comes to their desktop, they will automatically see a folder. Anything done here is on the server. This guy is on the server. I right click, I create new folder. I right click, I create new test. Now go to the server. Can you see everything is on the server? So if imagine you going around each systems and start creating map drive, start joining them, it looks somehow. So because over time I said I'm going to use 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't want the stuff to shut us down before then. I want to be able to entertain some questions from the people. So if you have questions, please unmute. Let's talk. GPU. At least we're able to do 3. We're able to install, change desktop and map folders.
The label comes directly himself.
So you have a question, please unmute yourself. Somebody says, can you show restriction to folders within the map drive? Yes, you can show restrictions to folders. That is where you now create groups. So you know, I added everyone. So, but in your own case, you would add that group, each group to themselves, and you will give rights. This right should only be for this group. The other right should not be for this group. So the other people will only see the folder, they will not be able to access it. And it will deploy simultaneously. Let me look up for another question. Can software deployment work without SCOM? Yes. SCOM is a Microsoft tools that we use for deployment, which is very robust and powerful. But this one is talking about maximizing what you have. You have a Windows server already, licensed bought. So instead of, we don't have the money to purchase SCOM, will you now be doing your work manually? I have an experience with an administrator in a particular company presently. The guy has a lot of issues. We were invited to come and check out. So we had meeting with the management. We told them the problem. As I'm talking to you now, the management said they will sack the guy because the guy is not competent to manage the network. And when they employ a new guy, we will come in and fix the issue. So you can see how bad it can be for you to manually do your job. So if you don't have a SCOM, you have Active Directory, use it. Yes, you have to restart. Either you restart. No, even if I log out, I signed out, I signed in again, at least it took effect. We all can see. We all can see it. Okay. This person wants training on VPN and MPLS. MPLS. I think he's coming from a Cisco guy working with ISP. No problem. It's noted. So if there's any other question, please unmute yourself and ask. So if there is no question, I can assume we are flowing and I will continue this section. So anywhere it locks us up, then we are good.
Okay. Okay, boss, I have a question.
Okay.
In my friend's organization there, I don't know, I just want to know, it's just like an explanation. Okay. An IT personnel, that they have a server which he controls, which he manages. But this weekend, it was like everyone should drop their laptop and their gadget that he wants to do backup. I was like, why is he asking every staff to drop their gadgets that he wants to do backup on them? Okay. Is it proper? Is it something that is proper? Is it not something he can do remotely from the server back end? So why is he asking everybody to drop their gadgets?
Okay, now let's assume with the whole staff, you have 1,000 staff. The guy will die before he reaches out. It's not proper. Once you hand over system to a client, to a staff, it's confidential to that staff. You naturally don't have access into it. Administrators should be the one to create the enablement, the platform. Once you come in as an administrator, the first thing you do is there a central share. If there's no central share, you create central shares. If you want to do a folder redirection, all their stuff comes in there, fine. But the truth is this: the previous experience is depending on the administrator's exposure. What some people will do is that local users, they will have uniform name, uniform local, not like, if you just install the system, it picks administrators as local administrator, local users. You give it a uniform name and uniform password. That's local users. Then most people will now install AnyDesk on everybody's systems, and they can configure it. They can come into your AnyDesk and do anything. They can configure remote desktop on anybody's systems and come in and do anything. But the truth remains that there must be a policy. Once you set up your central share, there will now be a policy that will drive your skill, what you have, else nobody will appreciate what you have done. So the policy will state all official stuff, like I've created a map drive. There's a map drive there on everybody's system. So everybody is working on the map drive, and automatically the map drive is on the server. If I want to do a backup, I will go to my server. I don't need your laptop for backup. Since I have been working for the past 20 years of my experience, nobody has ever asked me, submit your laptop for backup, or me asking anybody, submit your laptop for backup. I am just hearing it for the first time, and it's somehow strange.
I was surprised either.
I think there are more to it, not just backup. I think there are more to it. Perhaps they want to check what you have been doing, check your history, check what you are browsing, check whatever. They want to see how to record calls, sack some people. You are using YouTube. You have not been productive. Not backup. They just use backup to collect all the systems. It's not proper and it's not professional.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are welcome, sir. Any other question? So if there's no question, let's proceed. So anywhere.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, sir, please, thank you so much for this training, sir.
You're welcome,
so
sir.
I want to ask, is there a way you can also like make provisions for either other training on how we can deploy Windows 10? So like, let's say we're having like 10, 20 systems to install Windows 10 on. Okay. And the way we deploy application software on in this training, is it possible we do same for Windows 10?
Yes, it's possible. Very, very possible. Now, let me take you through. Let me just digress a bit. Come to your server. Come to server management. Come to server management, server manager rather. I told you I came up from the stack support background, where sometimes you install almost 1,000 laptops. How do you do? What do you do? So we have this stuff called, let me see, Windows deployment service. Okay, let me see the role. Maybe the role is not